Life is a mental game, and being mentally and emotionally unstable negatively affects nearly every aspect of our lives. Most of us know when we feel unstable, but many times we try to conceal it. Maybe it's because we are embarrassed, afraid, or just don't know how to explain it. Sometimes we are so good at masking it, no one realizes we're struggling, while other times, our behavior can be a telltale sign that something is wrong. A decline in a person's mental state can be temporary or long-term. It can affect anyone of any age at any time, and yet it is nothing to be ashamed of. Sadly, youth mental health has been on the decline for several years, and in 2021, it officially became a public health crisis. Anxiety, depression, eating disorders, self-harm, and behavioral problems were ranked among the highest mental health conditions in adolescence. According to several resources, 1 in 5 people live with a mental health condition in any given year. Studies show that 50% of all lifelong mental illness begins by the age of 14, and by the age of 24, that percentage increases to 75. The National Institute of Health states nearly 1 in 3 teenagers will experience an anxiety disorder. The National Alliance on Mental Illness reports nearly 20% of high school students have had serious thoughts of suicide, and 9% admit to a suicide attempt. Suicide is the second leading cause of death among 10 to 14-year-olds. And the third leading cause of death among 15 to 24-year-olds. These statistics are not only shocking, but gut-wrenching. Obviously, those suffering need to receive the proper support. But why are so many kids struggling? After reading several reports, there unfortunately does not seem to be a clear answer. Youth mental health has been on the decline long before the COVID-19 pandemic. Personally, I suspect social media is a major contributing factor, but we may never know the exact cause. However, I do not believe there is an abundance of mentally ill adolescents and young adults walking around. It is quite possible their poor mental state is being directly impacted by their natural wiring, negative life circumstances, and inadequate support networks. This subject becomes extremely personal for me because I was one of those youth mental health statistics. If my parents had taken me to a psychiatrist, I guarantee that I would have been diagnosed with a mental health condition. I was the poster child for generalized anxiety disorder. Although I suffered for years with constant worry, I am thankful that I did not receive that diagnosis because more than likely I would have become dependent on medication to calm my nerves. You see, I do not have a mental illness. Rather, it is my dominant character traits that combine in a specific way which causes me to be a high anxiety individual. My brain isn't malfunctioning. It's my natural thought process that can send me into a death spiral. Therefore, I had to learn behaviors to maintain mental stability. We certainly do not want to overlook mental health illnesses that require immediate psychiatric care. But on the other hand, we need to consider how a person is innately wired and how his or her brain is naturally functioning before we jump to any conclusions. So how do we effectively help our youth? First of all, our kids need safe spaces where they can be heard as often as needed. Because when they feel heard, they feel valued. And when they feel valued, they feel loved. Adolescents need wise adult mentors who are readily available to lend an ear and offer support. Second, we need to help our kids discover who they really are and how that impacts the way they naturally think and behave. to feel a sense of normalcy for how they are innately wired and for how their brains naturally function can make a huge difference in their mindset and how they navigate life. Third, we need to properly educate. Presenting relevant information, understanding mental health conditions, and removing the stigma is a great start. But the power lies within discussion-based learning and an open dialogue. This is where personal growth opportunities are presented. Dots become connected, healing takes place, and meaningful bonds are formed. And fourth, it would be awesome if schools were able to offer health classes each year between 6th and 12th grades. This is where safe spaces could be created, personal discoveries could take place, and relevant topics could be discussed. Kids are a captive audience at school, so this would be a prime opportunity to positively impact the overall well-being of our preteens and teenagers. Academic performance and behavioral issues are affected by poor mental health, so schools need to be a part of the solution. Unfortunately, most school systems are failing to meet the mental and emotional needs of their students. Excuses range from curriculum demands to a lack of available time and resources. Honestly, applying a little creativity and utilizing mentors could resolve these issues. In the state of Florida, it is mandated that 6th through 12th graders receive 5 hours of mental health instruction each year. 5 hours to cover 8 topics. And at my daughter's high school, this is all done online, which lacks any sort of open dialogue. Now, can you imagine only allotting 5 hours a year to anything of importance to you? Your exercise program? Your healthy meal plan? Your house cleaning duties? What kind of shape would they be in? Time is of the essence to implement realistic, effective solutions that are integrated into our kids' daily lives. As reported, youth mental health is in crisis mode, and if one child is suffering, it's too many. This especially hits home when that child is yours. I am all too familiar with the pain and loneliness associated with the struggle from both a personal and parental viewpoint. Therefore, I am passionate to help anyone who is suffering. You are not alone. I am here to help. On my website, thriveintherealworld.com, I have created several free podcasts to anyone who desires to discover who they really are and find mental and emotional stability. I will continue to create and upload podcasts, such as this parenting series, to provide information, support, and helpful tools. I am also available to meet virtually or in person, one-on-one or in small groups. Whether you, your preteen, or your teenager converse with me directly, or you form your own support groups, partaking in discussions can be powerful and healing. We are not meant to navigate life alone. So stay strong and stay connected. I'm always here if you need me.